Okay. Hi there, everyone. My name is Jessica Rios. Today, I will be interviewing Miss Campbell in regards to her cultural or ethnic background. She considers herself to be biracial in a sense that her father stemmed from African American descent, as well as Italian and Native American descent, along with her mother. But again, she grew up in a predominantly Hispanic home because her stepmother was Mexican American. In regards to her age range, she is from 50 to the mid 50s. Her gender is female. Her highest education is a doctorate in behavioral health. And her occupation, she works under the umbrella of special education as an inclusion teacher. Now, Ms. Campbell, to begin with, the first question that I have for you is, please describe the most important values and beliefs of your culture.
Being that I am mixed culture, gosh, I've kind of touched on a little bit of everybody. You know, my Christmases consist of having, like Hispanic background, like I have tamales and gumbo and things like that. So it's just a mixture of cultures together.
And what would you say your values are in regards to family, like a family orientation, or what are some core beliefs that I guess that were founded in your home growing up?
We had we went to church. We were Catholics, and so we had to go through like Mass and First Communion and all of the things like that as dealing with the Catholic faith. We had like altars in our house we light candles. We respect our the people that came before us. We I guess I don't know the name in Spanish, but it's when someone dies and then you go back and what is the name of that? And you have an altar and you respect the dead.
Like an ofrenda.
Yes, we would have an altar in our home, and and then we would go and we pray and respect the elders.
Cool. Now, what are other ways that you would describe cultural events or celebrations or practices in your culture?
Being from Louisiana, we and having Italian in my family and also Hispanic, we were always together. My family, my dad spoke French. My mother also spoke French, speaks French. And so it's all about family and being together, being with cousins and being in a close-knit type of relationship. And my stepmother spoke Spanish, so we were really fascinated with that. My dad speaks Spanish and French and English, of course.
Nice. So what are some reading materials, films, or videos that can help us learn about your culture?
I guess if you travel to Louisiana, there's a lot of reading materials there. I mean, you can go to any library and read about the Louisiana Purchase, about the Creole people that lived in Louisiana at the time. We're all mixed. We're mixed with so many different nationalities or ethnicities. We're from, European. We had some family members that came from Canada. They initiated from Europe, and then they moved to Canada, and then West Virginia, and then eventually they resided in Louisiana.
What do you think others outside of your culture, how do you think others outside of your culture view your culture?
I think they think it's really cool because, there's no other place in the United States that still have that language. We still have that Creole language that is spoken in my family and the older generation still speaks that. They didn't teach that to us. And one day I want to be able to go back to school in Louisiana to learn their language because it's a dying language now. It's not something that was spoken a lot anymore.
It's like Latin.
Yeah.
And what are the fondest memories you have from your childhood?
Oh my God. My grandfather played the accordion, and he would play it in the Mardi Gras. And so we would all get together for Zadikos, and we would go during Mardi Gras time, and we get together and we play the music, and I would play with it's called a rub board with a spoon or whatever, and I would be there with my grandfather and singing and playing that with him, and those were just fun memories. I loved living in Louisiana. I loved listening to the Creole, the language. I still, when I go home, I can still hear them, talking, my dad and my cousins talking in that language. I don't know. I just know some words. But I miss that. I miss that family togetherness.
Right. And have you ever experienced prejudice or discrimination, please? And then if so, please elaborate.
Not while I lived in Louisiana, as I lived there until I was about 10.
Right.
So let me think. When I did move from Louisiana to this area, this Houston area, my dad married a lady from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
And so I went to a school around navigation. I can kind of remember that little school. It was the navigation in Houston.
Right.
And I could still smell the coffee from, there's this Maxwell House coffee plant or something. I don't even know. Was it? Yeah. And I could still remember that smell. We lived in this little house for just a small time. And these kids, they saw me with my fair skin, and they were like, and I had like a little Louisiana accent, like, where are you coming from? Where are you? And so that was my first time experiencing discrimination. They would call me names, but yeah, that just then. That was the time I wanted to try to fit in. It was predominantly Hispanic neighborhood and everything, and I didn't know anything about Hispanic people.
Right.
I just thought that everybody was the same, and they were like, well, your skin's light, but where are you from? And I would tell them I'm from Louisiana and we're mixed. So I don't think they really understood. And I also told them that my family speaks French, and they're like, really? I never heard of anything like that.
Oh, Miss Campbell, you're hilarious. Given what has happened in recent events, what do you think can be done about prejudice and discrimination, in your opinion?
Gosh, me being raised in a family with so many different races, ethnicities, my children grew up, they didn't even know anything about, we don't call anyone any kind of names. They've never dealt with this. So I think if people just try to learn about each other and I think the basis of all of the prejudice is fear. And if we try to learn about each other and try to open our minds and our arms to other people, and I think we'll kind of get to understand people more, try to learn about their food, their culture, what they like. And I think that will help, in some small way.
Sure. And what do you think is the biggest misconception about your culture?
Well, I don't have a specific culture, but I think from Louisiana, being Creole, that we're party animals, maybe. That we just like to have a good time and we're drinking, because when people think about New Orleans and Louisiana, they're thinking, whoa, having a good time and, partying.
Okay. And as religious, ethnic, and cultural diversity increases in our society, what do you think schools can do to better prepare students to interact with others who are different from themselves?
I think, just teaching the kids about different cultures. We have like a curriculum or something where we can learn, like one particular month, we'll learn about the Hispanic culture and about what they do with their foods and things like that. And then maybe we'll move on to Creole. But I think living in a country like we live in is a melting pot. I think that students need to learn about Muslim people and about, Hispanic people and about Europeans. And I think that the more we understand about each other, the easier it will be to get along with each other.
Well, Ms. Campbell, it has been a pleasure interviewing today. I'd like to give you a very big thank you. And I'm sure that, again, thank you for enlightening me. And I definitely look forward to working with you in the future.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.